Hello folks, this is K.W. Wayne from DSR Chats. I hope that you're having a good day today. Beautiful weather out there. Today is going to be the first one of the videos about my life. This is life one. The reason I'm going to begin to do it now is because I have some things that need to be said. Well, I was raised in the generation of men and women that went to Vietnam. I'm proud of the generation that I'm from. I love the guys that went over there. I have great respect for those people. I talk to them all the time, and they mean a lot to me, and it's important to me to be able to say that I'm a part of that generation. I was born with a birth defect that affected my legs and my back, and as well as my neck. And I was also with a lung condition, and always have had that. It's only gotten worse over the years. But I was no candidate to be able to pass a physical. I was no candidate to be able to go over there and fight for my country. But I had a lot of relatives, a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances that went over. And my gosh, some of them died over there, and some of them died after they came back from complications of being over there. My brother was a few years older than me, and he did go to basic training, and he did volunteer for Vietnam. But he was working for a captain here in the U.S. that didn't want him to leave his post, and so he wasn't allowed to go. And anyway, he didn't go, and it's a good thing he didn't, because not long after that, it was discovered that he had a heart problem and probably wouldn't have survived over there. Whether or not he had gotten wounded, he'd have probably died from the heart problem. So I'm thankful that he didn't go. But my heart was very heavy for people that I knew that had died over there. My heart was very heavy for people who came back with a real horrible feeling about life. Emotionally and some physically. Many didn't recover. But I'm thankful for those guys who were willing to go. But there's something that I think needs to be discussed about not only people that went to Vietnam, but went to every other place. And I don't know if this is the time or the place to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it because it's been heavy on my heart for a long time. You know, the people in Congress, people that have oftentimes been in the White House, people in the media, people in banking system, corporate system, people who are doctors and nurses, scientists, you name it. Many of them were being paid astronomical amounts of money to support the deep state, to support the globalists. And I think about the fact that the bankers are the ones that finance all of these wars. Doesn't matter what war, doesn't matter what generation you're talking about. You can go back thousands of years if you want. But it's always been bankers that finance these wars, and then it's bankers that pick up the spoils of the wars, and they make dozens and dozens of times the amount of money when they pick up the spoils as what they ever financed the war for. And I've always hated that, because it never mattered to these people that our boys from whatever country it was went to war so that they could get wealthy off of the back of the life and the death of people like us. I remember back when the Middle Ages and the things I found out about that. There were kings that would be selected by these bankers, and it would be their job to collect the taxes, and that was essentially the only job that they had. So they would go and into a village with their soldiers, and the village didn't have any money to pay the taxes, so they would kill some of the men, they would rape the women, they would grab children and take them and sell them in brothels. That's right, in brothels, into sex trafficking. And they would give the money to the banker that he had coming, and the rest of the money would go into their coffer. And as long as they were willing to do that, they would keep their job as king. But as soon as they couldn't get the money that the banker wanted, the banker would have that person killed and a new king selected. It turns out that even royalty has its bad points. It's rough situations, because if you're not willing to be a killer and a murderer, then you get killed. So you can become as much a victim as the people that you're victimizing. And I think that's terrible. That's the way that the world has been for many, many generations. Probably since the time of Adam and Eve. The Cain and Abel story should tell us all that we need to know. And the fact that even in the Old Testament, people were running their children through the fire, even though it meant death to their own kids. They would do what they had to do because that was what Lucifer intended for them to do. And they didn't dare not do it. And so we have evil in this world. Now, today you're going to talk bad things about the man who's in the White House today, but you should be spanked, because the man who's in the White House today is a part of a group of people that is stopping the evil. The reason he doesn't like war is because war is something that comes from the pit of hell. It comes from a group of bankers that serve the God of hell and not the God of heaven. And you need to understand that when the alliance and President Trump are done, the world is going to be a much better place to be. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. This is the first issue of my life. There will be others coming the days ahead, right here on DSR Chats. And so if you're somebody who listens to Good Day, Good Prayers, you may want to listen to some of the DSR Chats that I'm going to have out there, because you need to hear these things. God bless those of you who have gone to war. Please remember to give us a thumbs up, to subscribe to our channels, but most of all, we want you to have a blessed and a good day. Good day.